fairly new. It's actually started working for Internap last fall, and I must build the group from 2 individuals to 6
Sure.
currently. Right now, the tools of choice are IPGen, PacketGen, IPER.
But yeah, so those are they just generate traffic. They're not for the simulators. So like NS3, OpNet.
No, now we
Mimic is the one that we're doing
right.
now.
We evaluate in a third-party tool called Mimic.
I don't remember Brian was looking forward for the V6 or V9,
Right.
V9 stuff specifically. I mean, we have a lot of stuff that either generates traffic itself, or like that actually reports as if traffic were generated.
We use a lot of traffic recap, like replace.
Yeah, I do all that stuff. Yeah. But I do more LAN type stuff. So I don't really care about gig, 10, 100 gig speed or whatever. But
Right. In
but we,
fact, my challenge right now is not only to select the combination of tools, but to incorporate them into the overall test framework.
right. Yeah.
Some commercial tools would take me probably 6 months to write my own APIs, so to speak, to use them and to get some kind of results, data, and analyze it. So that's another challenge. It's not just whether the tool does what I need it to do.
Yeah. I know. Ideally,
How do I interface?
you probably want to do some sort of trace-driven simulations
Right.
and such. Yeah. Well, we can talk.
Because I know that for my DNS stuff, I capture logs and then replay them. It's my major way of generating DNS traffic at
Right.
rates that,
A TCP replay or something, or from a PCAP file.
That's
Yeah.
well, even query that comes with the DNS as an example, there's some. But sadly, a lot of those tools are very single purpose, which makes it harder because when you got to test a wide array of things, now you've got to juggle 5 different tools and trying to get them to play at the same time. And there's actually an orchestration problem.
Yeah, I know the problem. We built tools like this for Cisco, for example.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of work with industry, and they have the same issue, and we essentially built tools for them. So yeah, I understand.
Yeah, because one of the components, and we didn't speak to it directly, but it's called FCP, and it's very near and dear to Anna's heart right now, because we're doing a release of it. But it actually is a hardware appliance that acts like a router that does the multiple upstream network service providers. And that's a tough thing to. It's just like testing a router for a switch.
Right.
It's a tough thing to very strongly characterize correct behavior.
Sure.
And then Anna's like forced to, trust a guy like me or somebody that, like me that's a developer that's like, yeah, it works.
Your ideal control plan and the data plan, actually, I did some research in optical network.
Yeah.
And that's an optical network, you always have a control plan and the data plan. So data plan is that,
In band, yeah.
Yeah, the band is high speed.
Right.
The control plan is a little bit slow, but it's a short message, right?
Yeah.
We also have a faculty, Dr. Chow, he's not here today, but working in this area also.
Yeah.
So I will deliver your message to him. Hopefully, all students can collaborate with in the future. And that's it. Chris, do you have anything?
I really just deal with the network infrastructure aspect of it, so anyone has any questions regarding that, or
Can you? I'm sorry, I missed it. I just got back in the country, so I'm still asleep. It's like 1 in the morning for me. But can you? I missed probably the first part. What about the network infrastructure? Did you?
I mainly deal with the network infrastructure portion of what Internap does.
Okay.
So I get my hands dirty on all the routers and switches, and kind of try and right size. Here's our theoretical POP. What should I put there?
Right.
What should I put on it? What protocols do we need to be running?
Okay.
Things of that nature.
Okay.
Also in the future, right? For example, I will give you your email out. Yeah. So in the future, for example, if you are interested in this project or Anna's project, send an email. One way you send an email to me, I will just forward to Stu. Yeah, just to forward to Stu. The other way is just copy to Tammy will do the forward also. Actually, your job is I forward, right? So it's the easiest way. So the department will know what's going on. Also, this is the best way for us. And in terms of international students doing internship, I think it should be in the last 2 years, we can approve the internship. Once approved, then the immigration issue is not there. As long as we have approval of that. Now, this is the initial stage. Eventually, I hope maybe graduate, we can discuss, right? Give you credit. You know, you go there, do internship, get some money, and this maybe 3 hours of university industry internship course, right? This is the best way.
That requires a much tighter integration between our
Much tighter, yeah. But once we have collaboration, you can do this kind of thing. We discuss further. For example, if you only 1 or 2, maybe not worth it. But eventually, if the company is on 3 blocks away, within walking distance, I walk there 10 minutes, right?
We walked over here today.
Yeah, you walk there, yeah, right? So if in the future 10 people working in Internap, it's worth to consider this kind of internship program, right? So depend on you. If you never apply, of course, no chance, right? If you apply, you have more employees there, then this is a possibility.
So part of the campus will be there.
That's good. GSU, I mean, maybe collaboration. For example, in the future, if more students working in the NI is already there, right? Event first stage, one possibility maybe we could have a lab, internet lab in network, right? And then internet.
Now, y'all just,
Yeah, just
we just,
provide some
split the
equipment,
lab.
provide some equipment, right? That's a possibility, and then more collaboration.
Oh, yeah, well, this is the funny thing, is actually they left, then created a new lab next to our lab, so we actually have some shelf space, there's a whole row now.
Oh, okay.
What we're looking to do is evaluate our next generation routing platform for our high capacity customers. So we had I guess they kind of kicked us out.
You don't get too many plugs, moving machines in here. But yeah, it's kind of great because we actually have several distinct lengths of different folks. And in fact, my rack, I mean, the CDN rack, we've got 2 racks of that. The cloud has already eaten 3 racks. Anna and her QA crowd have, what, 3, 4 racks?
But see, we need practice at different.
I know that, exactly. But, so it's a lot of fun. I mean, we've got a lot of bandwidth in and out of the place, as you might imagine. We've got, you know, in fact, we got one whole room where our foosball table is hidden in the back room. They actually, we decommissioned a pop in, what, LA or someplace, and there's literally a room bigger than this, full of stacks of old
Yeah, there's
servers.
about 25 pallets, about 6.5 feet tall.
1850s, 2850s, and in fact, if y'all wanted some old machines, I bet we can get Eugene to give them away. We get the, you know, but I mean, that was actually, I built my cloud compute for Hadoop out of scavenged machines. You know, you pull them off the rack, you build them up, you burn test them, okay, you know, go on. So I mean, it ends up being all kind of possible.
This is a good idea. For example, if you have some used equipment for students, maybe for testing purpose, for research purpose, that's enough, right?
Yeah.
And as a company, basically you donate a donation to the education.
And like I said, we write down the SKU number, just like we do when we pull it into 1 hour lab. We might, you know, be able to send it on, and that's interesting equipment, you know.
Any question from students now? Any?
Everybody is very delighted that they want to have no questions. They want to be asked questions or something.
Don't be too shy, right?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Question,
It's not that technical. I don't know if I should ask it here offline. So I was wondering, like, when an organization puts its data on cloud,
Yeah.
their worry would be that my data is going off my premises.
Oh, yeah.
How are you going to handle it? Would it be misused or something?
Yeah. Well, in fact, I mean, that's sort of one of the very active areas of research. The most promising one is to actually use encryption. That you go ahead and mathematically encrypt the data, and that's where you hold your trust.
I already heard the story. For example, you are the customer. I'm the data center, right? You give to me, I cannot read. However, I can still search. Basically, what? Whenever I search, I get a key from you. The key, I cannot use a key to read the data. However, I use a key to search certain keywords and then return the material to you. You can still do whatever you want. I'm only holding item. Now, of course, this is only research stage, not perfect yet, but at least this is the future. Now, another possibility may be on-fly do this encrypted data and using an algorithm so that other people I'm thinking about this problem also, right? Other people cannot read, however, you only can read inside the CPU, right? Decrypt data, search, do something, and return. Other people, you can execute user keyboard. So it's
Yeah, like SC Linux. And
Little bit slow on
kernel
this
level features in there. In fact, there's one crazy thing that there's certain kinds of encryption they're trying to define that an operation, there's an isomorphism of some sort where an operation on the encrypted text is equivalent to the operation on the unencrypted text. That you can do manipulations and that the structural similarity is strong enough to where you don't actually have access to the information, but you can even manipulate the data. So that when it finally does get translated back out or decrypted.
But this is
the
a huge
operation would have that effect.
area. For example, my journal will soon publish a special issue on this security in cloud system. And many workshops in cloud computing are related to security and encryption.
Yeah, and a lot of it is, just standard issues like, physical security of the building, physical security of, at least in my old world, the toughest thing was when you have these disks that, you've got 40 terabytes of storage. And these disks have a mean time between failures, so you've always got somebody swapping out the disks, and then how do you destroy the disks afterwards? So there's a lot of kinds of things that happen both in a software world and in the actual physical world that you have to, and it's a huge range, of things to be concerned with on cloud. Because, anytime you multi-home data, as I mentioned before, if I've got only my data on the data store, it's sort of one thing. But if we've all got data in that same multi-homed or multi-tenant, I guess is the way it really is called, multi-tenant data, it's a much harder problem. The trust factor of a infrastructure service provider, that's something that you have to, and presumably earn it in a way that's not like 15 years of not having a breach. You want to be able to, there again, I would like to prove it, I'd like to be able to write on a whiteboard that I can prove that I have some security here rather than, just this blind, or experience-based trust.
How does Internap handle it? Like, do you have anything that, okay, we use this for security purposes?
We use a lot of stuff.
Okay.
It's sort of funny because at the different layers, like all the way down to, I got 3 badges. I don't know, from physical layer all the way up through authentication or encryption. In fact, we've got a system that, master ref, that deploys images even if you were to compromise a production machine. Very soon, the master ref would notice the reference system and say, oh, excuse me, this is what it should be. In fact, it's kind of funny, even much to your dismay as an engineer, that's the first thing you discover. My second day, I was actually doing work on my workstation. I looked and I said, I thought I did this yesterday. What happened? I didn't have the accept to that space in master ref, and it came along and noticed that it was different and fixed it for me. So it's sort of a funny thing. But I would like to eventually be able to address it even from an algorithm. Because in fact, right now, that's one of our big things on even the Squid Edges. Our content delivery network is SSL. How do you multi-tenant SSL servers? Me and my 300 closest friends are subject alternate name. Inhabitants on a server or something.
Not only that, one of the things that's come down the pipe is